What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Talking Toads as we're recording this about an hour after the end of the game between TCU and North Carolina, where the Frogs won 48-14. Boy, that was the best opener I've seen the Frogs have in a while. Definitely the best under the Dykes era for sure. And you might be wondering, like, Reed, where's Austin at? Like, why isn't he here? He's such a better podcaster than you. I agree. He's in Spain right now or somewhere in Europe. I don't know quite where he is. So he'll be waking up to the highlights, whether that be the Hoover Dwyer touchdown pass, the Trent Battle touchdown run, Kevorian Barnes touchdown run, you name it. The list goes on and on. He'll be seeing all those highlights in the morning, and he'll be back next week. So, Lester, I'll see you then. And let's just get straight into the game. Game day was there, obviously. Desmond Howard was the only one who picked the Frogs. He always has respect and love for the Frogs, which I love, of course. And just a great overall dude, it seems like. And compared to some of the other people on College Game Day, I can't say that about them. Pat McAfee and Nick Saban, notably. Pat McAfee, I think I speak for a lot of TCU fans. You're a clown, dude. No one really respects your opinion anymore, and you're just a complete talking head for the national media, and you'll say whatever you think is the popular thing to say. Nick Saban, same thing as well. I feel like he's always hated TCU, so nothing's new there. And both of them picked North Carolina, obviously, and they have ties to Belichick, which makes sense. But just look at the roster; they could have easily done that, and you could see the talent TCU had compared to North Carolina across every position wasn't even close. So let's get right into the first quarter. That first drive kind of had me a little bit nervous, where North Carolina just ran it straight down our throat, whether that be the running back or Gio Lopez running or him completing 20, 30-yard passes. Kind of gave me a little PTSD-like symptoms to the Colorado game in 2023. Just nationally highlighted game, new popular head coach, whether that be Deion Sanders or Bill Belichick. Opening game of the year, all the eyeballs are on TCU. And after that first drive, I'm like, this can't be happening again, right? Like, surely it can't. Then when we went 3-and-out, I'm like, no, this might be actually happening. But it turns out that wasn't the case at all. And that was kind of an outlier for the game, to say the least. And from then, really, the Frogs just turned it on, and purple and white was just hitting the crap out of the Tar Heels left and right all night. Um, and another quick highlight here is Josh Hoover. Looks like he kind of found his new security blanket in Jordan Dwyer. And if you remember over the past 2 years, that security blanket he had, in my opinion, was J.P. Richardson. He was just always open whenever you needed him. Third down to move the sticks. He was always in the right spot, and Hoover trusted him a lot. And it looks like Dwyer's going to be that guy this year. And ironically, both of them wear number 7. So maybe Hoover has a thing for number 7. Who knows? I'm just kidding. Uh, so it was good to see Dwyer involved early, because I know sometimes with transfers, that connection can take a while to build, but that connection between Hoover and Dwyer from the start just looks sharp. So awesome to see there. And going into the second quarter, it was a tie game of 7-7. And that second quarter is really when TCU went on a roll. They outscored North Carolina 13-0 in that quarter. Most notably, that's really when Hoover started looking sharp. He looked sharp after that first drive, but that second quarter, he was really starting to dot some passes up, whether that be quick game, long game, you name it. He was just sharp throughout. This is kind of like a little side note, I guess. Was good to see Kyle Limmerman kick that 35-ish yarder or so. Both Austin and I, we had question marks about him going into the season. He kind of missed a few chip shots last year. So for him to kick that with confidence was great to see. And I think that'll really give him a boost moving forward throughout the year. The only complaint I had about this quarter, really, this is kind of a nitpicky thing, is the Kendall Briles screen pass call. He called a couple of those throughout the night, and none of them were really working. And he went back to that call, I think it was a second or third down, where we were kind of driving. And of course, that's when Hoover had that interception. It was kind of a funky play from the start. Everything kind of seemed out of rhythm. So if we can get that screen pass or all of the screen passes out of the playbook, that would be great, because I feel like 90% of the time it just leads to chaos in a negative way, whether that be a turnover or just losing yards on the play. So really, that's nothing too big. And I'm sure they'll look at the tape and be like, all right, let's just take that one out. Because other than that, the play calling was great the rest of the night. But then again, that turnover really didn't matter because immediately that next drive after for our defense, the king of pick sixes himself, Bud Clark, had one, which I feel like Bud, he has at least two pick sixes every year, and he has to be near the top pick six leaders all time at TCU. I feel like every year he just makes a big play, and it really shifts the momentum of the game. And that turned out to be the case tonight with that pick six. So shout out to Bud. And if you remember, I actually predicted Vernon Glover getting a pick six. Just kind of a feel good story coming off the ACL surgery last year. But hey, I'm happy that it was Bud scored. I wouldn't have cared who it was. Love seeing the defense score anytime they can. And another thing I wanted to call out here was I really like that minute drive, or maybe it was like 55 seconds going into the half, where TCU was pinned around their 20 or 30, I want to say. And Hoover looked super good leading that minute drive going down the field to get some points on the board. He spread the ball around pretty well, just super quick with his reads, and he just looked effective. We didn't even have to use all the timeouts, I believe, to set up that field goal. Great job by Briles and Hoover leading the guys down the field to put some points up the board. And then again, Limmerman made a clutch kick, and he was 2 for 2 on the night, I believe. And he's going to be important moving forward. I know it's just a kicker, but I'm just going to keep reiterating it. In the Big 12, you're going to need a good kicker because it's going to be a lot of close games. Moving into the second half, that lead felt pretty secure. The Frogs really dominated after that first drive on. And as a ticket holder of having -3 on the Frogs tonight, I wasn't too worried about that, but I just wanted to see them be clean and stay healthy for the second half, and that's exactly what they did. And it was pretty funny because Herbstreit, right as the third quarter was starting and we had the ball, he was like, North Carolina just needs to make one stop and see if they can switch the momentum of the game. And before he can even get that out, Kevorian Barnes broke off a 75-yard touchdown run on the first play in the second half. So I kind of laughed in that moment because he couldn't even get out that full sentence before we just kept beating them up, pushing them back, just making it physical on them. And Barnes breaking off that 75-yarder was sick to see. That was probably, if I'd have guessed, the longest touchdown run we've had in a couple years, maybe since Amani Bailey. From there, the tide just kept turning for the Frogs' favor. Trent Battle, he had a 28-yard touchdown run. Then Devin Deal returned a fumble. So 2 defensive scores on the night. Love seeing the defensive guys scoring anytime they can. And that third quarter was just a complete onslaught by the Frogs. For North Carolina, they had Max Johnson come in. Gio Lopez was hurt, and he ended up getting a touchdown pass to his brother in the third quarter. Obviously, I don't like any time whenever the opponent scores, but good for him because that dude literally snapped his leg in half last year in the first game of the year. Yeah, and good for him to have. Moving into the fourth, really, it was just like another complete onslaught. Josh Hoover ended his night after a touchdown pass to DJ Rogers. Hoover on the night finished 27 of 36 for 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Couldn't have asked for a better night from Hoover. And if you looked on Twitter throughout the game, you could really see all the respect and hype and the attention that Hoover rightfully deserves kind of keep spiking up throughout the game as it went on. So for him to be on that national level now is great to see because I don't think anyone more deserving earned that more than Hoover has over the past couple of years. And he's just going to be a stud for the rest of the year. Few notes I wanted to add about this game. The defensive line looked great. I know North Carolina, they don't have the best offensive line in the country, to say the least. A lot of transfers. I know they're kind of banged up on that front too. But if anything, my game ball would go to the defensive line. They were just in the quarterback's face the whole night, pushing guys back left and right. One play, Tristan Jackson got in, and he completely blew up the center. He pushed him about 5-10 yards back, and he just hit Max Johnson straight in the face. So that was awesome to see, and I think that was kind of a summary of the night was that line just getting a great push throughout. whether that be Marcus Deal, Ansel Denbu, Devin Deal coming off the edge. It was good to see Paul Oyewale back. He definitely flashed a few times. And if that D line can play like that the rest of the year, I think TCU will be in good shape moving forward in the Big 12 title contention. And I know I kind of already talked about him earlier, but Kevorian Barnes is a dude. He ended the night with 11 carries for 113 yards. He's just able to get those nasty tough yards that we haven't had a running back do in a while. He just has dudes bouncing off of him left and right. Boy, hand up, I was wrong about him. Whenever we saw that he committed to TCU, I wasn't too excited. It was just kind of a meh thing for me because his stats at UTSA over the past couple of years weren't great. I know he was great early on in his career there, but boy, he proved me wrong. And if he can play like that consistently, that's just going to help this offense throughout the whole year. Because last year we really didn't have a run game that consistent, and we could have even won more games last year if we had a good run game. So shout out to Kevorian, just a mauler of a running back, which was great to see. Offensive line played great. I think they were kind of slow early on, especially in the first quarter, but second through the fourth, they were just blowing guys off the ball left and right. Cade Bennett, I think he had that major impact we were expecting. Colton Deary had a great game. Ben Taylor Whitfield. Ryan Hughes, I think he played all right. Then also Bruno and Strickland rotating at that right guard position. So can't say enough good things about them. They were definitely one of my biggest question marks going into this year to see if they were able to establish that run blocking game that we really didn't have last year. And they really picked up where they left off with the pass protection. Hoover had a pretty clean pocket the whole night. And if they can just combine those two blocking games throughout the year, will be good. And speaking of the running backs, I know he's talked about Barnes, but all of them looked great tonight. I liked what I saw from each and every one of them. Jeremy Payne looked good. He had a few good carries. Trent Battle, Nate Palmer and John Denman especially. Two younger guys, Palmer being a sophomore and Denman a freshman. Palmer is very shifty, which I really didn't know about him too much because he didn't get that much action last year. I know he was kind of limited on the carries, but he had a great game. Then John Denman stood out as well. So I think all five of those guys are capable guys who you can plug and play any of them. They'll do just fine. So I would assume Barnes is the starter moving forward, but I think each guy will get some carries each and every game. So I love our running backs. And that was also a question mark I had going into this year is just who would that guy be? And after game one, it looks like all five of them could be that guy throughout the year. And I don't know if y'all caught on to this in Dykes' post-game press conference or even the post-game interview with Holly Rowe. He just mentioned a few times how TCU felt. He felt like TCU should have been getting talked about more. I don't know if he did this on purpose or not, but TCU still had Hoover throwing in the fourth quarter where it was pretty much a blowout. And especially that touchdown pass, I don't know if that was necessary, but I don't care. I'll take it because people have run up the score on us before, so it's our turn to return the favor there. And so I don't know. I thought that was interesting how often Dykes mentioned how disrespected they felt. And yeah, good for them kind of running up the scoreboard a little bit. I hope Chase Curtis is okay. He got banged up. It looked like a head injury, in my opinion. He was down on the field for a while, but it looked like he walked off on his own power, and he was still on the sideline throughout the game. I just hope it's not a lingering thing. Concussions are weird and scary, obviously. So hopefully he's good. He's a great leader to have in the locker room. He's able to chip the edge well on run blocking, and he's obviously a capable catcher of the ball as well. So hope he's good moving forward, and it might be a good thing that the bye is coming up this week for him to get healthy. And other than that, I don't think really anyone else got injured. I will say it is pretty dumb how we always have a bye early on in the season every year. Whether that be like week 2 or 3, it's always some weird bye time. So if we can get that change moving forward, Mike Buddy, that would be great. It just kind of disrupts the flow, especially as a fan. You're looking forward and anticipating college football to start the year. So when you get a bye that early on, you're like, what's the deal? That's not fun. And I'm sure it kind of throws the players off in their rhythm a little bit. So hopefully that changes moving forward. And I will say I had the Frogs in the Big 12 championship to start the year, but I would suggest everyone just be cautiously optimistic still. They look dominant throughout. Every position group played well. I just don't think North Carolina is that good this year, at least. And I just want to see us perform that well against the likes of SMU, who's coming up in 2 weeks, the last Iron Skillet game, and obviously at Arizona State, who won the Big 12 last year and almost won in the playoff against Texas. So the hype, sorry, y'all, my voice is going out. The hype is definitely warranted for this team, but let's just kind of take it nice and easy, look at the big picture. North Carolina is not great, but TCU, they definitely have the players, and I think the coaching staff to really have a hell of a year this year. And they couldn't have started off any better tonight. Like I said, every position group was just rock solid. The back end looked great. Jamel Johnson, he had a few big hits. Austin Jordan looked great. Obviously, Bud Clark with the pick six. So great start for the Frogs. I couldn't be happier with that performance. And that was kind of my thing leading into the game is TCU really hasn't had that strong of a first outing under the Dykes tenure yet. And tonight they completely threw that out the window, and that's no longer a thing. So going into next year, I know that who cares about next year? This year is all that matters right now. We can just kind of put that first game performance to bed, and I think the sky's the limit for this team moving forward. They can definitely compete for the Big 12, and they have the roster to line up with anyone. So just wanted to hop on here and give y'all a quick episode after game one. Again, TCU beats North Carolina 48-14. Josh Hoover, he's starting to get the respect he deserves. Kevorian Barnes, I think we found our great running back in the making, y'all. Lester will be back next week, and until then, y'all have a great week, and we'll see y'all next time. Go Frogs.